Everybody, and welcome back. Today we're going to be refinishing this chair and turning it into a cute little planter. So I thought we'd start with some of the Rust-Oleum. The color is Satin Summer Squash, and I thought it would be a little bit of a muted yellow color, so it might bring out some of the colors we're going to use in the flowers in the chair. So let's go ahead and get started with this. All I'm going to do is spray the whole chair with this Rust-Oleum, and it's partly because I'm going to have this sitting outside, but I also might have it really out where the rain might hit it. I'm not sure exactly where I'm going to put it when I'm all done with it. So let's go ahead and get started with that. So I'm just going to spray paint the whole thing. I actually thought it was kind of cool. I got this at a garage sale, and it already was missing the top, and so it was perfect for what I wanted to do with it. So I thought it was kind of pretty too in the top here, but for what I'm going to do with it, I think the yellow will be much prettier. So let's go ahead and get started. I did put a tarp down underneath so that while we're spraying, I'm not spraying the grass because I'm going to be spraying so much of it, I didn't want to paint my grass. So we had an old tarp that we put down so that I can work on that. So let's get started. So now I'm going to let this dry. I would give one more tip. When you are going to spray your chair or whatever product you're working with, make sure it's away from anything that you don't want the overspray to hit, especially if it's a little bit of a windy day. Today it's just a little bit breezy outside, so it is kind of moving a little bit, but not too bad. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and let this dry for a little bit, and then I'll be back to show you the next step. All right, so it's been about 20 minutes, and this has been out in the sun and a little bit of breezy weather. It feels like it's dry. Now you might want to look it over again, make sure that it's the color you want it and that you don't have any shady spots where you want it to paint it and pretty. Okay, so now we're going to move on to the next step. So I went to Ace Hardware, and I asked them for a piece of screen approximately 2 feet long and 2 feet wide. And we're going to take a staple gun. Now, if you don't have a staple gun, ooh, my staple gun's hot. I'm going to go ahead and put some gloves on because that staple gun is very hot in the sun. So I'm going to put my garden gloves on. Now, if you don't have a staple gun, you can use a hammer and flathead nails, but you need them to have a little bit of a head because if they are just like pin nails, then it'll go right through the screen and it'll just fall apart on you. So what we're going to do is fit our screen inside here. We'll first take the front side, and we're going to go ahead and take our staple gun and staple our screen down. So I got this piece, it only cost $2 from Ace Hardware. Oop, that didn't go in so great. So hold it down flush with your chair and press until it comes out. Now if they don't go all the way in, you can go ahead and grab a hammer and hammer the rest of the way in. Which I'm going to have to grab my hammer and do that. Okay. One more. So I'm going to go ahead and grab a hammer. Okay. So now I'm going to just kind of fold it around a little here. It doesn't have to be perfect. It's going to show down below with dirt in it. So I'm kind of folding it around. See, I have the little square here. I'm just kind of trying to fold it around that a little bit. And then we're going to go ahead again and staple. Now some spots you might want to double up. I'll show you in a second what I mean on your screen. So as you can see, the screen, I had to double it up a little, but I wanted to go down far because I want to be able to put quite a bit of dirt into it, because we're going to put quite a few flowers in it, and you want them to be able to grow and have enough nutrients from the dirt and the plant food. So we want to be able to fill it with enough dirt. You want it to kind of be taking the place of a pot. So, and you just keep going around until your whole little screen is completely stapled in. When you are completely done with that part, it should look something like this. Okay, so now with this, I believe that the dirt can get through it too much. So this is a leftover piece of weed guard that I had. Now you can get this at any hardware store. Now the paint that I had, I got it from Home Depot, and also the plants we're going to be putting inside I got from Home Depot. But this I had already, and I'm sure it's from Menards, because Menards is close by my house, and so that's where I go a lot. So I'm going to also lay some of this in here and maybe cut it down to a smaller size. Let's see. So I brought scissors out so that I could cut that weed guard down a little. Now this, you could either staple it also inside, or you can just kind of lay it around in there. I think I'm going to go ahead and staple parts of it. So I'm going to fold this side over to make it a little straighter. And I'm going to go ahead and at least staple some parts in so it kind of stays in place. Now you can kind of fold it over just however you think it looks good. And just keep going. Because then you're going to put your dirt in and you're going to fill it with your flowers, and the flowers are going to cover up some of the uglier parts. Make sure it's going to stay in there deep enough. The only reason I'm securing it is because then when you put your dirt in, you don't want it to all fall in there and then dirt starts coming out the sides when you water your plants. We want it to stay in place. Okay, so once that's pretty well secure around the sides, then you want to go ahead and start putting some dirt in there. We're not going to put a ton of dirt in at first because the plants all have a lot of dirt in them too. So we'll go ahead and just start with a little bit of dirt and we'll go from there. Now the dirt, I already had it, but again, this one I believe is from Walmart. And it's Schultz brand potting soil, and it's supposed to have a little bit of weed feed in it already. I'm just going to take and start sticking some little shovelfuls in here. Not a ton, just something to start with. Making kind of a mess. Okay. Maybe another little shovelful. And then we're going to go ahead and start positioning our plants. So I bought some zinnias. Now all of the plants are from Home Depot, and they had a sale on them, 30% off, and that's for all the annuals. Now this is a perennial. It was $10. It was probably it was the most expensive plant I bought. And it's because I want all these plants to look like fall. I want it to look like fall because now summer is half over and you might as well put the fall colors into your new little chair because, I mean, fall's coming. And then next year when the seasons all start again, you can do spring and summer, or spring or summer. You can change it out to fall, or you can leave it spring and summer, whatever you guys want to do. But for now, we're going to go ahead with the fall. So I bought a variety. Most of this stuff was annuals that they were putting on half off sale. And that's what all of these are except for those. But I picked out the colors of fall because then when you have your mums, all of this will match with your mums. So we're going to start with, I have 2 yellow zinnias. Now zinnias bloom through fall also, so these are perfect to put in with your fall flowers. So I have yellow and I have 2 orange. I'm going to go ahead and take the orange one out of the pot. So I'm going to put the orange one towards the back here and pile some dirt under it. I'm going to grab my big white one and put it in the middle. And then on the other back side, I'm going to do a yellow. I'm going to try to mix it up just a little. What I'm doing is, as you can see, the taller flower I put towards the back and the shorter one in the front. So when we set our chair out, you can see them. So far we have an orange, the white is in the middle, and the yellow is in the back. We're going to go ahead and we're going to take this orange one, and we're going to alternate and put it on this side where the yellow one is to mix it up a little. And then we'll take the other yellow one and put it on the other side. I broke a piece off. We'll just shove those together. Okay, so I can tell that there's going to be a couple blooms right around in here. I think I'm going to turn it this way so that when they're blooming, there's one here, it'll be on that side, and the other ones will be towards the front, and you'll be able to see the new blooms when they bloom. I'm also going to take a little more of the dirt and go ahead and shove it in here. Now you can even let your flowers tilt a little bit. It won't hurt them to do that. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and add a little more dirt in between everything, and then we'll add our other flowers in. Okay, so now before it's full of dirt, excuse me if I'm a mess, but it's very hot out here. So before we fill it the rest of the way with dirt, we want to put a little bit of our purple flowers. Now I bought the hanging basket because it was on sale and I can separate them and put them where I want them. So I'm going to go ahead and grab the root of one of my purples and pull it out. And then I want to figure out where I want it. Let's see how many I have first. Looks like I have 2, at least 3. So I'm going to go ahead and take this one and set it in on this side and let it hang over the side. And then as you go along, you can pull off the old spent ones, because that, if you take off all the old dead flowers out of your flower, then new growth will come. So you want to do that. Okay, so I'm going to grab another one and put it on the other side. Let's see. Here we go. Actually, this one looks a little bigger. I'm going to go ahead and put this one in toward the front here. So I'm going to move this and just slide this in here. And I am trying to tip it so that it hangs over the chair. I think that looks cute. So then we'll take our last one and put it on the other side. And let it hang over also. Now if you see old ones that look all brown already, just go ahead and just pull them off. If it breaks a little more off, it will come back. At least it'll grow until the end of the season. These are all flowers that will go till the end of the season. Okay, so now I also bought these couple of plants. Now I'm not usually an annual girl, I'm usually a perennial girl. So I'm actually not sure what these are called. I'm trying to see if they have a name on them. They don't, they just say foliage. So anyway, I thought we would put a little bit of color in there. I thought this with the red and the green would make it look fall-y, and so that's why I grabbed that one. So we want to just mix them in. I'm going to put the red by the yellow, and we'll put the white back by the orange, because that'll mix up the colors even just a little bit more. I'm going to go ahead and grab another red one. Put it right here. And then I'm going to grab a couple white ones. Now the same with the foliage. If you see parts that look dead, pull them off and it will revive your plant a little bit more. So now these ones we're going to go ahead and put in by the orange. If we would have put the red in by the orange, it's like you're putting all the red and orange together in one spot, and you want it to be a variety. So we're going to put the white one back here by the other orange. And then you want to look and see, do you need more in here? And I believe we need a little bit towards the back here. So now you can go ahead and take one of the red ones. Now I will put it next to the orange because the white one's right here, and so I want to mix it up. So I'm going to go ahead and put it right next to the white one. And then I'm going to take one of these white and green and put it next to the yellow and back behind this white. And then I'm going to stand back and look at and see if there's anywhere else that I want flowers. So I want my white ones to show, so I'm kind of pulling them forward a little bit. Go like this. And I think I'm going to go ahead and put a little more of the foliage in the back. But I'm going to move my yellow ones up a little more and my orange ones. I want them to show. When this chair is sitting out, I want all those colors to show. So now I'll just put some foliage in the back to help fill it out. This is probably full enough now because you got to figure they're probably going to grow a little bit more also. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the dirt from out of this little plant and use all of that around the top because I might as well not waste this dirt. It looks like it's pretty good. It looks like it has like Fermilite and all that kind of stuff in it already, so it's good dirt for our plants. So I'm going to go ahead and fill it all in, and then I'll be right back. Now as you're filling it in with dirt, if you see that there's a spot that you think I should put a plant there, then do that. Like over here, I feel like I need a plant here, and I'm going to go ahead with the white one. And the reason I'm doing the white one is because next to this yellow one here, also, before I go on, so the bottom of the plant, sometimes the roots get really root bound, like you might have to just kind of break the roots up because that helps them to go ahead and spread into the new dirt. So if you just break them up or cut them with a knife or scissors. So the reason I'm going to stick the white in here is because there's a red one actually is what's next to this white one. And so I'm spreading it out again. So I'm going to go ahead and put that one there, and I'm going to put a red one on the other side. But I'm going to keep filling in with dirt, and then I'll be back. So you want to look through, when you think you're done, look through it again. Make sure that you have enough dirt around each plant because you want to be sure that while these plants are growing and their roots are growing, that their roots have somewhere to go. And so they need more dirt so that they can grow into that dirt. Okay, so now we want to feed and water our plants. So I did bring water out, and I brought a weed feed, but I don't think this is a good one to use with this. I was gonna sprinkle it in the dirt, but the way we put them in, we really couldn't do that. So I'm gonna go ahead And I'm going to pour some of the water into one of my other plants so that I can add some plant food to it. So my watering can has about 2 gallons in it. I'm going to let it out until it's between a 3/4 of a gallon and a gallon. And then I'm going to take some of this plant food and go ahead and dissolve it into my water and pour it over my plants. Now the plant food, I'm going to go ahead and use 1/4 cup because the plant food is good for 2 square feet. It would be 1/4 cup. But with the depth and the length and the width of everything, it should be equal, pretty close to that. So I'm going to do at least close to 1/4 cup or 1/4 cup, either one. I'm going to just pour it into my water. This is an organic plant food from Miracle-Gro. I had gotten it from Walmart a while ago, and so that's what we're using. Okay, so I'm going to just use my measuring cup and kind of try to stir it up in here. And then we're going to go ahead and water our plants. I want to be sure my white ones are showing. Okay, so now we're going to just water everything. And so we're feeding it and watering it at the same time. Now it's going to probably run through because remember, it's a screen and it's a weed guard, but it's not plastic on the bottom. So the water should be able to go through. So when it rains outside, it won't get waterlogged. It should eventually drip out. So now you can go ahead and take your pretty little plant, like your little plant chair, and put it wherever you want. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you did, please like and share and tell your friends about me, and I'll see you guys next time. Thanks. Bye.